Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Mr. Anger, back with you for another episode of the Mr. Anger Show. Parental advisory. Parents, know what your kids are watching. That's your responsibility. Uh, Kids, if you're watching this, I do use a little bit of language. Go ask your parents for permission or turn this off. Alright, so we're going to skedaddle along with the subjects here, but first I'm going to go off on a little bit of an issue real quick before I get into the main issue or the main topic of this video. I notice that people blame violence on media. I don't get that. I've never gotten that principle in my entire life. Like, I'm getting ready to sit here and tell you the differences in between the world that I wish we had and the world that actually is. So, if somewhere along the lines somebody says, well, I should create action because of what this guy said, that is up to you. A person's actions is their own responsibility. If you take responsibility to act upon certain things that somebody else says, that is your decision. You made that decision to act. That is nobody else's decision. And it's not the media's fault for putting the information out there, or my fault for sitting there giving you the information. It's your own fault for acting. I'm not telling you to go out and act. I would never tell you to go out and act. Now, the only way that a media organization could get in trouble for something substantial is, to specifically say go out and kill a certain person or to go out and destroy property at a certain place. Encouraging violent behavior, that can be punishable, but anything else, I mean, even still, if I sat here and I told you, go destroy I don't know, go destroy your local hillside for the fuck of it, because it pisses me off for some reason. And y'all go out there and y'all destroy the local, the local hill or whatever, and that's on you. Why the hell do you want to do that? I mean, why would you take the action to go do that based on what I said? Really? Do your own damn research. Formulate your own opinions. These are just my opinions, my thoughts, my processes, and to take action based upon my thoughts and my processes, and to listen to my thoughts and processes and take that and put it into action. I didn't ask you to do that. You did that on your own. I think people need to take more responsibility for their actions. Actions are reliant on me. If I do something, that's on me. It's on me. It's on nobody else. Nobody put a gun to my head. Nobody made me do it. I listen to somebody, I get some thoughts about something, and I think, okay, well, I'm going to take action. That's on me. I'm not going to sit there and say, well, I heard it on this show right there, and so I went out there. No. I'm going to be like, if I take an action, it's going to be because I decided to take action. Me, myself, decided to take action. I think most people out here in the American world, or in the world completely, are bright enough to understand self-responsibility and to take responsibility for your own actions. I never understand blaming media for violence in the world, because if that was the case, then the holy wars and the millions of deaths, there was no media back then. There was none. None. I mean, what do you blame that on? Back during Vlad the Impaler, what was his motivation? Huh? He killed thousands in most brutal and horrific ways. Hitler, there wasn't really no mainstream media back then. What did he watch? What did he play? Your case is fucking mute. This is entertainment. Most people, or the majority of people, were smart enough to realize that this is for, this is for you to listen to. This is for you to, gauge an opinion on, or formulate an opinion, or get a new perspective, or to entertain you. It is not meant to be an actual literal case. So ultimately, actions rely on the person. So take responsibility for your actions, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I'm saying before I get into the subject. Now, the subject at hand is the world that I wish we had compared to the world it is. See, the thing is there's a world that can be had for everyone. For everyone. In the world that I envision, There is no boundaries. There is no racial or cultural divides. There is no nothing. People appreciate each other's differences. There is no countries or states or regions or stuff. People can move freely throughout the world. People are equal. We are just people. If you choose to see race, that is your own decision. That is your own purpose. That's your own principles. And you can do so. If you choose to segregate yourself from society by creating yourselves your own little factions of life, well, more power to you. More power to you, you know? You don't want to mix and mingle with white people, then create your own schools, your own type of shops, and enjoy. But realize that when somebody else, let's say somebody else does the same thing, it's not racist. It's just us being compliant and saying, okay, well, since they could do it, everybody else could do it, so they could create their own little small infrastructure if they want to themselves. Why is it everybody's got to stick each other's nose and everybody else has got to be in business? As long as nobody is harming each other or causing physical violence or destruction of property, then why the fuck should we care about it? Why should we? You want to marry, have a plethora of wives or husbands, good luck. I say more power to you, son, or a woman, or whatever decides to choose to do this kind of relationship status. Have fun with it. As long as the adults are consensual, have fun. Have fun. But me, no. One wife is enough. One spouse is enough. Thank you. No more. Hey, I know my limitations. More power to you. If you think you can do it, go for it. If somebody wants to, marry whoever or whatever, let them. Why? Why the fuck does it matter? What, you don't like it? Then don't go. Now why the hell do you want to sit there and raise hell about somebody else's differences? I just don't get it. I don't get it. You choose to project that hate over something that really doesn't even affect you. You're not the one that's doing it, so why are you worried about it? People just lost the camaraderie. Lost the ability to respect one another's differences. It seems like we wake up each and every day with this bone to pick with one another, like we're more better than you, or we're better than you because we think this way. We're better than you because we have this. We're better than you because we own a house. You live in a trailer. We're better than you because no, everybody should be respected the same way, because everybody in this world provides a function, provides a way of life for themselves and a way of survival for themselves. In my world, it would be open. The world's resources would be equally distributed amongst the people across the globe. I mean, universally, across the globe. All world's resources would be distributed equally. That would never happen in today's real world. In the world that we live in, that will never happen, because people enjoy power. People enjoy money. Those two things right there will cause my world to never exist, because people enjoy having those resources and controlling those resources and using those resources for power. That's in this real world. But we could create a world where everything is distributed equally, where the world's resources are given to the people equally. I don't know why it is us, the people, have decided to choose gold out of all things to put value in. We chose that to put value in. We determine its value. We defined it. We found slaves to the very things that we made and defined ourselves. So, what the fuck? I think everybody should have the basics of life. Nobody should have to worry about having a roof over their head, food in their stomachs, and the ability to go see a doctor in case they're injured or hurt. So yes, medical, housing, and food. That should be basics brought across the board for everyone across the globe. People will fall on hard times. If they can't make it in the economic world, we should be able to provide and help those that can't. But, in the world that I want, I would have it so that people would have the ability to go to school and through their education be able to try the things that they want to try, so that they can really, truly find their way. Because in the society that we have today, we do not find our way, because we're limited to the resources that we have. We're limited to to the area that we live in. We're limited by the type of family that we've been born into. Why we limited ourselves in so many ways and so many factions that we're kind of our own damn hindrance. We're our own curse. When people should be provided, when we send kids to school, let's say, you want to have your own private schools, yeah. Well, I would insist that the private schools incorporate, that the same thing that general education schools would incorporate. General education doesn't really, it does need to be had, but, so you can understand the basic principles and philosophies of life and understand the basic concepts of life so that you go out into the real world. That's what school is all about. It's to prepare you for the real world. But what's the point in preparing you for the real world if you're not prepared for all the options that are given to you or the limited options that you do have? Why not have the schools present the options to the kids of every faction of life? Let them experience every faction. We limit ourselves so much by just, send them to school, they'll get their education, and they'll try to make their way the best they can and the way they can. But if they live in a neighbor or an area like this, where, if you not unless you're a judge, doctor, or a teacher, or something of that nature, you're not going to make it, outside of this territory. You're not. Because the rest of the jobs around here are minimum wage and factory. Factory's good pay, but then again, you're going to get laid off probably pretty soon too. Your security as a job person is not very good here in this part of the world for stability. It's not. Because you could go in and you'll spend every day going into your work and wondering if this is going to be the day that you get laid off. And that's the bad thing. They pay good money, but for how long? And you take the risk of, losing that money and losing that way of life in less than a day. In less than a day around here. You do, if you choose to work for factories around here. The rest of it's minimum wage jobs. Fast food, retails, and stuff like that. So, your fast food retails, the majority of the jobs that the majority of people can get are going to fill up fast because there's more people than there are jobs. And then once you do get those jobs, minimum wage, you're basically going to make a bare minimum living here. So you're not going to be able to save up to get out to go do what you want to do, to go see what you want to do. So why not have the opportunities throughout the globe brought to our schools and shown to our children to say, okay, here's what's available, here's what's out there. Why aren't we helping our kids become what they need to become instead of limiting them to where they're from and what resources they have? I don't know. It gets complicated really fast. In the world that we live in, people are bound by their means, bound by where they live, bound by the type of systems that they have in place, the type of economy that surrounds them. It determines their futures, and that shouldn't be the case. A person should be able to choose their future. And in my world, I would make it accessible so that people could choose that future. And I know it can happen. I know it can exist, but will it exist in my lifetime? No, never. Probably not. Probably not in our lifetimes. Probably not my kids' lifetimes. Probably not the kids' lifetimes. Because people hold on to that power and hold on to the wealth and the money that they gain, and they don't want to relinquish it because the world is unstable as it is. And in an unstable world, without having stability amongst the people as a whole, a person's got to do the best that they can to maintain the power and the structures that they do have, or else they might end up on the bottom themselves. Well, in the world that I envision, there is no bottom. Everybody has equal access to all the means, all the resources, to basic needs such as food, shelter, and health. That should be the three basic needs that are provided for everybody across the globe in my world. And then we should be able to provide people with the choices and options to be able to do as they want to do instead of being limited by the environments that they are born into. But that world will not exist. It won't exist. You know, there wouldn't be no such thing as race. You know, we'd all be just a human race. People would have believe in whatever they want to believe. Hey, believe in whatever you want to believe. Have fun. Go for it. As long as you're not causing violence or destruction of property, I don't give a shit. You know, I would tear down the laws of the land and just keep it simple. As long as you don't cause violence or destruction of property first, you're golden. But other than that, if you cause violence and destruction of property first, we're coming for you. Pure and simple. That would be the rules of my world. Pure and simple. No use for boundaries because the world would be an open platform for anybody to go to any territory that they want to. But world leaders will never relinquish power over their people. And that would require such a thing. In order for humanity to survive and to exist beyond what we think we can, is for us to bond together, to be a unit, a single cohesive unit, and work together as one. Yeah, we can believe and think whatever we want to, feel how we want to, do as we want to, but we need to have a common goal across the board for all of us to get behind. You know, we have all these questions. A lot of the fights that we have in this world that we live in today is all over, it's mainly all over personal beliefs and personal perceptions. Why? Why? Because nobody has the fucking answers. That's why. Nobody does. So why aren't we getting together as a human race and saying, let's find the fucking answers? Instead, we want to fight about the petty bullshit, about what other people believe, about what this person's color is, or that person's color is, or what this gender is, or what that gender is. What the fuck does this have to do with any goddamn thing? Any goddamn thing. That's not providing us answers. That's a distraction. That's nothing but bullshit. If we had this open world that I'm talking about, we could focus on finding the answers, finding the keys, finding out where we came from. Yes, the most popular theory about where we came from is the Big Bang Theory, along with religions and different belief systems and such and such. Why don't we find out? Why don't we try to find out? Our knowledge of the universe, of the galaxies, and of everything is fucking minute. It's small. It's tiny. We know what we define quite well. We've been spending the last, or since the dawn of time, fighting over what we defined, based on our definitions and our perceptions. We fought with each other about that since the beginning of time. How about we put aside our petty bullshit, and our perceptions, and work together to find out where we came from, where we're going, what our future is going to be, what the design is. You know, the universe is expanding. Expanding into what? You know, according to the most popular theory, you know, we're still part of the Big Bang, and that's why it's still expanding. Then where's the center? And what created the Big Bang? We know nothing can just come from nothing. So something had to come and to make that happen. What conditions can make that happen again? Are those conditions being observed in front of us and we don't even know it? Is it happening nearby and we don't even know it because we're too busy squabbling with one another about race, religion, sex, and stupid shit? And politics? We don't even know 60% of our own fucking brains and how it works. We haven't mapped out 60% of this in here. We don't even know our own selves fully and completely. We didn't admit that we do not know everything. Bring honor to our humility. Allow people to believe what they wanted to believe until we can figure out these answers, these questions, the things that are pertinent to our survival as a human race. Anything else is just bullshit. You know, I look at the world that I would love to live in, and think about the world that really is right here in front of us, and I shake my head. It's maddening. It's maddening knowing that that world can exist, where resources are shared equally, and people have the basic needs, and people are provided with a choice to choose the way that they wanted to live, instead of determined to live by their environments. And I look at this world, it's maddening. It's maddening to see this world and how people are these days. At each other's throats over stupid bullshit that doesn't even fucking matter. Heck, we haven't even discovered 70% of the oceans. We discover new species daily. We act like we know everything. We act like that we're the best in the world. Who knows? We haven't discovered the world fully yet. That's quite presumptuous of us, don't you think? I'm not ashamed. I'm not afraid to admit that I don't know everything. How about you? How about we cut this petty bullshit out and create a world that's worth living in, that's worth having, that's worth creating a future for everyone, instead of just this country, this state, that state, these people, that religion, this religion, that religion. Believe in what you want to, because nobody has all the answers. Yes, I'm not saying just to stop believing in whatever you believe in. No, I'm saying believe in what you want to, but appreciate and accept other people's beliefs too. That your way of life is not necessarily going to be the right way for everybody's way of life. Yeah, I hate the KKK. I think they're racist. But you know what? We have the KKK near here. Seriously, it's about a half hour from here. There's a KKK stronghold about a half hour down the road. Everybody knows where it's at. But you know what? The fuckers are quiet. They keep them themselves. The only time you ever see them is in charities and at the Christmas parade every now and then. And it's barely even a mention in the parade. So it's not like it's a big old thing, or they dress up in Klan outfits or anything like that. It's usually a single truck that rolls through that says Merry Christmas from the KKK. Yeah, they're a bunch of idiots. But you know what? They're not creating violence. They're not destroying property. Let them be. Why is it everybody's got to be up in each other's business? Creating problems and drama over bullshit that doesn't even really fucking matter. Why don't we find out the things that really do matter? Like where we came from. Where are we going? What's the principles and cores of our creation? What is our design? Let's figure that out. But I can figure it out with my beliefs. Yeah, that's your beliefs, but it's not going to work necessarily for everyone. And can we prove those beliefs? Heck, we can't even prove the Big Bang. Yes, a bunch of scientists agree. The majority of scientists agree that's where we come from. But there are those that say that we don't come from that. Because to tell you the truth, nobody fucking knows. I love to live in the world that I've imagined. That can be possible if we choose to make it possible. But with the things that are in place, laws that are in place, societies that are put in there that are in place, a long line of history that people don't want to let go of, a whole bunch of non-essential bullshit that people want to worry about, we will never achieve the world that would be perfect for everyone. Instead, we continue to fight and bicker like a bunch of fucking idiots. That's like genocide is still happening in Africa, in parts of Africa. But nobody mentions a goddamn thing about that. And if somebody here wants to bitch about racism, please, go to Africa, lecture to the people who are getting genocide against. Lecture those people about how bad you got it. And then come back here and talk to me and see how much you feel about your issue now. We need to help everyone, not just ourselves. Not sit around and say, woe is me. I don't know. Seems like I live in the world full of pity parties. where everybody wants to throw a party of pity for themselves. Oh, well, feel sorry for me because we were Jews. And are you being mistreated now? Is this World War II? Are you being thrown in concentration camps? No. Oh, we're black. Oh, we were slaves at one point. Yeah. Are you slaves now? Well, not in this country, you're not. But I can take you places that they really are still slaves. Still to this day. You want a bitch? Fuck off. I used to be a slave too. My ancestors were enslaved a long time ago by the Egyptians. You don't see me crying in my milk. Come on, we gotta let the past go, and the past bullshit that we've created amongst ourselves, that we defined, that we created, that we made, and put it all aside and say, you know what, fuck all the noise, fuck all the bullshit, let's actually accomplish something as a race together. But instead, we will continue to fight just because. Why? I don't know. On the path that we are heading on right now, we are more likely to destroy one another than to actually succeed as a human race. That's for everyone. No matter your color, no matter your gender, no matter your beliefs. That's the path we're heading on. That's the path we've been raised in. The path that we've been taught. That nationalism reigns supreme. Money reigns supreme. Power reigns supreme. What about creating an equal world for everyone? Having an equal human race. One race, the human race. Works together to find out the solutions for our survival. And survival for our next generation. And where we came from. And what our purpose and designs are for. How about that world? I think that'd be a quite amazing world to live in. Don't you? So what do you prefer? The world that is? Or the world that we can design? That we can make? That we can actually make flourish? Because on the path that we're heading right now, we're not going to make it. I can goddamn guarantee it. I'm Mr. Anger. Enjoy the world while you got it, ladies and gentlemen. Because we're pissing it away. One subject at a time. I'm Mr. Anger. Peace.